The Nokia Lumia 520 started a little revolution in the way handsets are priced. It offered excellent bang for the buck. Today we have another affordable handset by Nokia and Microsoft that goes on the same path. This is Victor with PhoneArena with a review of the Nokia Lumia 630. As you can see, this is a colorful and plastic Lumia handset with Windows Phone 8.1, the latest version of Microsoft's operating system. It comes in a dual SIM version, something that's new for Microsoft. It offers decent specs, but can it fight against other Android devices that are as affordable or even more affordable than this one? Let's find out. The colorful design and wraparound cover make this an unmistakably Nokia phone. However, the cheap matte plastic design of the cover spoils the otherwise good impressions. Now, while this cheap choice of materials is disappointing, the handset does not suffer from any build quality issues. It's actually well put together. In terms of pure size, the 4.5-inch Lumia 630 is compact and well suited for single-handed use. It's not too thick, plus it is also on the light side, tipping the scales at just 4.7 ounces. The most notable change from earlier Lumias, however, is in the buttons. This is the first handset we see to use on-screen buttons a la Android, and it's also lost the physical camera shutter key, and now the only buttons are the lock key and volume rocker on the right, both plasticky but also very clicky and easy to press. The 4.5-inch display is not among the sharpest, but its punchy colors and good viewing angles are above what you'd expect from this class of device. It has great contrast in deep blacks, plus it's also got great viewing angles, and colors don't fade out even if you look at the phone from an angle. Speaking from the point of view of the color purist, however, we should know that colors are in fact clearly oversaturated, and while they do look punchy, they're not perfectly accurate. The screen also sports Nokia's clear black anti-reflection filter that improves outdoor visibility and makes the phone easier to use under the bright sun. That's a huge deal. Finally, we should know that the Lumia 630 disappointingly lacks an ambient light sensor, so you need to manually change brightness to adjust to ambient light. The big news about the Lumia 630 is the fact that it is one of the first devices to ship with the brand new Windows Phone 8.1 and with Nokia's Cyan improvements on top. Windows Phone 8.1 introduces a host of new features, including a drag-down notification center called Action Center that looks similar to what's on Android, and it's the home of all your notifications, but also to 4 toggles that you can conveniently use to quickly adjust brightness, switch Wi-Fi on and off, and so on. Windows Phone 8.1 has also gotten plentiful new customization options, including the capability to finally have a wallpaper on the home screen, the so-called Start background. It shines through transparent live tiles, but not all of them are transparent, so it ends up looking a bit like a mosaic rather than a clear wallpaper. There's lots of other smaller improvements like the neat quiet hours do not disturb feature, as well as the Find My Phone feature that will help you locate a phone when you lose it. On the other hand, you have Nokia Cyan that brings apps like the Nokia Camera, Creative Studio and Storyteller, all great additions to the ecosystem. Microsoft also bundles in a bunch of useful apps that have a pretty straightforward function. Travel, sports, finance, food and drinks and news are here, while Nokia on the other hand also adds value with a rich weather application. For basic functionality, you have a rich phone book, and the keyboard experience is one of the best out there, with well-spaced keys and a reassuring clicky sound when you type. We should also say that the Nokia Lumia 630 is the first Windows phone to come with support for dual SIMs. Nokia is offering both a single SIM and a dual SIM version depending on the market. The model we have for review is a single SIM one, so we could not test the dual SIM functionality, but what we can tell you is that it is a dual SIM dual standby one, the other model, which means that when one card is in a call, the other one appears as out of coverage. The Lumia 630 runs on the quad-core Snapdragon 400 system chip. This popular chip delivers buttery smooth performance on the Lumia 630 with the familiar pleasing fluidity of Windows Phone 8.1. The chip comes with 4 Cortex-A7 CPU cores running at up to 1.2 GHz, and there is just 512 MB of RAM. Now the latter is a big limitation for the otherwise well-equipped Lumia 630. You cannot feel this limited amount of RAM much in basic daily operations, but some apps and many games actually require more RAM just to run. The Adreno 305 GPU takes care of the gaming aspects of things, and it's a decent chip that runs at 450 MHz, and it runs even more demanding games decently, if of course they run on a phone with just 512 MB of RAM. The Lumia 630 features 8 gigs of internal storage, of which around 4 gigabytes are actually available. Luckily, there is a microSD card slot that you can use with cards of up to 128 GB capacity to augment the storage allowance. Windows Phone 8.1 ships with the brand new Internet Explorer 11. It's a huge update to Internet Explorer with new options like an incognito mode, reading mode, and support for unlimited tabs. You also get the option to go back and forward in pages by just swiping left and right, which is convenient, and there are tons of under the hood improvements. The browsing experience itself is fairly smooth and you can scroll around and zoom in and out of pages with almost no lag. The Lumia 630 in terms of connectivity does not support 4G LTE, but it does have speedy HSPA Plus with download speeds of up to 21 megabits per second. Other connectivity options include Wi-Fi, BGN, Bluetooth 4.0, GPS, but there is no NFC on board. The handset comes with a 5 megapixel autofocus camera. Unfortunately, the camera has no flash and there is no front-facing camera either. And when it comes to the actual quality of images shot on the 5 megapixel shooter, we've seen better. Images are not terrible by any means, they're definitely usable and in fact they have good detail. Colors, however, are definitely off. Some pictures look bluish, others turn out on the green side, and this is the biggest issue for the camera. The speed of capturing images is also nothing to write home about. Autofocusing is on the slow side and there is also no HDR mode. The 5 megapixel shooter records video at up to 720p at 30 frames per second, and the quality of the recordings is again okay but not particularly good. Videos turn out fairly smooth with almost no dropped frames, but they lack a lot in details and dynamics, and there is a pronounced rolling shutter effect. The Vivid display is a great asset for video on the go, and Nokia's Mix Radio music app offers affordable music streaming. In fact, Mix Radio has Spotify-like on-demand music streaming at a very low price, but you can also use a lot of the functionality for free. In addition, you also have Microsoft's standard music application with tight integration with the rich Xbox Music catalog where you can purchase tunes. Music output via the loudspeaker is indeed loud and sounds very decent, and that's a plus. Call quality on the Lumia 630 is not exceptional, and in fact it is downright disappointing in the earpiece, where voices are hugely distorted and do not sound clear at all, so you'd have to listen extra carefully just to understand what the other person is saying. The microphone output, however, is much nicer, with just a very slight digital undertone to voices, so to your callers the voice appears very natural and loud enough. The Lumia 630 comes with an 1850 mAh user removable battery. We had no problem going through a full day of use with the Lumia 630, and under scarcer use we can even imagine going to 2 days, which is definitely way above the average. The Nokia Lumia 630 is priced at €160 or $200 and that's its full retail off-contract price. What about its alternatives? On the Android side of things, you have devices like the Motorola Moto G, which also comes with a 4.5-inch display, but it's sharper and offers similar and even better performance. And if you want a slightly larger display, you can go with the Samsung Galaxy Grand 2, which features a 5.2-inch screen and a slightly more capable camera, again slightly better value for the money. On its own though, the Lumia 630 is a good device. It runs on the latest Windows Phone 8.1, it is decently snappy and powerful, has a good battery, and overall it's nice except for the camera, which is kind of a bit of a disappointment. For more detailed review, make sure to go to PhoneArena.com and check us out. Thanks for watching.